Not all stories in the Bible are good stories. Some are very challenging, like the story about Hagar and Ishmael. The question that I have is, how much did Hagar and Ishmael know? Did Abraham explain to Hagar what had transpired so that she and her son were banished from their home? Did he explain that Sarah did not want to split Abraham's estate between her son Isaac and his half brother Ishmael? You know, happy wife, happy life. Why did Abraham give so few provisions with only one leather sack of water and a loaf of bread? Why did Abraham not give them a proper send off along with a servant and camels with all the supplies in order for them to survive? Did Abraham explain to Hagar that God would make a nation out of Ishmael because he too is his son? The Bible does not say. As we celebrate Father's Day, we are also mindful of the fact that Abraham is the spiritual father of the three major religions of this world, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. Yet, his behavior here would not make him a candidate for the Father of the Year award. Sarah does not appear to look very good either. With so little provisions in the wilderness and utterly alone, they were thirsty and hungry. It must have felt like banishment. Hagar must have thought, what have I done to deserve such a fate? At first, I was made a slave. Then I had to sleep with my master. I gave him a son, but now my son and I are here about to die. The reality is that so many people in this world are just like Hagar. Some might ask, what have I done to deserve the suffering under the brutality of systematic racism? Or if you are a First Nations person, genocide. Or if you are living as a poor person in the shanty towns of a third world country, the lack of opportunity and hopelessness. These are tough questions to tackle. As for Hagar, the challenge is that she does not see the big picture, including God's promise. Surrounded by her grief, she also cannot see that there is a well nearby. It takes an action of God to open her eyes to see her situation with much greater clarity. Hagar also does not realize that God will make a great nation out of Ishmael. Otherwise, Hagar would not have wept, fearing that her son is about to die, which would have been devastating. It would be hard to imagine the kind of weeping a mother would express when her child is about to die. But wept she did, not face down, but up towards heaven, protesting such an injustice. Hagar wanted to show God how unfair all this is. Foreshadowing the times when God hears and responds to the cries of the people, God heard the voice of Ishmael and through an angel responded with compassion. Hagar is reassured by an angel that God has a great future for Ishmael and opened Hagar's eyes to see that there was a well nearby. They were able to survive this, and we are told that Hagar found an Egyptian wife for her son. What about the rest of us? Where is our hope? I believe what Martin Luther King Jr. proclaimed. He said, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. Despots can only get by so long until they are brought down. Racists may get their way with some of their behavior until one day they no longer can. I am happy to see that so many statues of racists and slave traders and those who fought for slavery are starting to come down. Even a descendant of Thomas Jefferson, who wrote in Newsweek magazine that his statue should come down because the man owned over 600 slaves and benefited from the evils of slavery. And the man who was as intelligent and who helped to write the United States Constitution with liberty and equality would have known. In the NASCAR races, Confederate flags will be banned. Many of the hateful behaviors that were ignored in the past are no longer tolerated, and such people are fired by their employers. I see these as the signs of the times. They are like the well springs in the desert that gives me hope. They are the signs that say, God will not let the fools destroy this world. They are the signs that say, God's universe does indeed bend towards the side of justice. As for Abraham, who banished his own son to the desert with so little provision, does he get a pass? Perhaps one way to understand the passage is that Abraham's faith was so great that he understood that God would not let them die, that God will fulfill the promise, and that God will indeed make a great nation out of Ishmael. So despite the lack of provisions, he trusted that God will pull through. Sure, he could have done more, but this makes a much more compelling story. And sure, he could have done more, but then again, so can we, with the power of the Holy Spirit abiding in us. Thanks be to God.